going to talk about fitness. Don't worry, I'll narrate and we'll just have a conversation.
Cool.
It'll be a conversation about fitness. So, ready?
Absolutely.
All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Empty the Clip. My name is Josh Beaker, and today we are joined by one of my family friends and longtime friends, Mike Hartel. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, and today we're going to be talking about fitness and health, getting into fitness. Recently, I've been training Mike. He's been progressing through the CrossFit methodology and basic weight training, Olympic lifting. And we're going to talk a little bit today on some of his experiences, some things I think will help you guys, hopefully, and some things I think will continue to help him, and talk about where we want to progress. And eventually, too, I want to be able to look back, because right now it is March 21st, 2021. We'll look back in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and we'll see what progress you've made. So I think it'd be really cool. So give us a general background of your athletic career, how much weightlifting you've done prior to the past, 3 months you've been training with me?
Yeah.
So just get into it if you want to.
Athletic career would be, I know I played soccer when I was, coming up as a youth. Mm-hmm. So didn't do much weight training for that. That was all cardio. I did some weight and strength training freshman year of high school, like all summer.
Mm-hmm. What were you training for?
I was training for the football team, actually. Yeah.
And then did you do anything else after that, weight training wise?
Weight training wise, no. I kind of let it go after that, after I didn't make the team. And then I didn't pick up weight training, strength training, or any CrossFit until my sophomore year of college. Mm-hmm. And then I took an elective for CrossFit that was like a full entire year. So for 3 days a week from, I think it was like 2.5 hours every other night. It was straight CrossFit, so it was great. Most of it was just body weight training, and then we had one class where we would do like weight training and all that. So
they didn't do a whole lot of weight training, but I think that's a good fundamental thing. That I have some problems with CrossFit. Have you ever been to a box? Another term for a gym for CrossFit affiliates. Like you own the title to use, or you don't own, but you can use the title of CrossFit if you pay a yearly subscription to be a CrossFit gym. Have you ever been to a box?
I have not.
So one problem I have with boxes is I don't think that they can't fundamentally teach all the basic principles correctly. Meaning the safety of movements, because when you're doing high intense interval training like CrossFit with high complexity movements like snatch, clean and jerk, odd objects, swinging around kettlebells, it can get dangerous if you don't do them correctly. And the problem I have with many CrossFit affiliates is they don't either take the time, they don't have knowledgeable enough coaches, or simply there's just a lack of caring for the community of athletes. And so I've had the pleasure of working with Mikey one-on-one, teaching him the fundamentals. I have my level 1 as a CrossFit trainer. Does not make me a personal trainer, but I have the basic foundation and knowledge, and 6.5 years, almost 7 years experience of weightlifting that I can share with you. So I'm helping you learn the basics, learning your movement patterns, getting you familiar with how you move, and eventually it's going to allow you to progress. Whereas in a box, right, you have a class of 5, 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30, 40 people, especially on the Saturdays where the classes get mashed together because you only have so many classes and people try to get their workouts in first thing in the morning. It's hard to coach, right? And when you're dealing with heavy weight, people who don't take care of their bodies, they don't eat right, they're much older athletes, they have a previous injury that they don't take care of. There's things that coaches can't, you just simply don't have enough time to get to them. So I think that what we're doing now, one-on-one training, Mikey's gonna see a lot more progress to where he will become independent enough to where he does not need my coaching or anybody's coaching, still could learn new things and progress and ask questions, but he's able to work out on his own. He's able to understand his body, what he needs to do to improve. You can diagnose things like, oh, my strength is down, or oh man, my grip strength, horrible. My cardio is kind of sucking right now. This burpees took it out of me. As we both did the open workout 21.2 yesterday, very successful. So how did you do on your second open workout?
I think I did fairly well for
good.
Being at my second. I hit my realistic goal of making it to the 40 snatches, 15 burpees. Kind of wish I would have made it to the 50. I really wish I could have got to the burpees on the 50, but I realized, you gotta set goals, so that's the next goal. I do think you're correct. You talked about cardio on the burpees.
Yes.
After that third maybe set of 15 burpees, I was just gassed. Like,
Absolutely.
in taking those, what was it, the like 10, 15 seconds after the fives, just kind of breaking it down to 5 sets, really did help, especially in the latter part of the workout.
Yep.
So I definitely have to improve cardio if I want to get better for that.
And it's all marginal things. And to be transparent with the people who are listening and watching this video, Mikey did do it scaled, used 20-pound dumbbell, 20-inch burpee box jump overs. So he did the 2-footed takeoff. I was really impressed. I mean, with the short amount of time that we've had to train you, there's been, I think, monumental improvements. Like your engine, your ability to continue to do work was really good. Form-wise, I think we picked a correct load, meaning the correct amount of weight for the number of repetitions you had to perform. I didn't think that you were going to get hurt and the dumbbell and the shoulder weren't lined up and moving correctly. You went very efficiently from the ground to overhead, and each rep you were punching through. There was never a moment where I was like, oh, he's going to really hurt his back or he's going to blow out his shoulder. So that was something I think was very beneficial. I think many a times, even very young athletes, we get caught up with the amount of weight we want to move, which we're working on for your clean. We're getting there, we're building. And athletes get too much ego into it and they want to lift heavy weight early, when if you nail down the form, the weight's going to come later, but it's a process. It takes time. That's why, again, I want to look at this like 2-3 years down the road and be like, yo, Mikey's doing RX, meaning the prescribed weights, the prescribed loads, the number of reps that everyone else is doing, and you're doing well at them. So I think it'd be something good to look at. What do you think is the hardest thing you've had to do to transition from not being someone who may not be as adamant about working out and weightlifting to where you are now? Like, what was the motivation factor maybe? What challenges have you had to overcome?
I think the most challenging thing is the mindset. So if we kind of break it down, like the first thing is, okay, well, I see like, you know, you and Bree and everybody that we know and work out with, I'm just like, wow, like y'all seem to have a lot of fun when you work out.
Yeah,
and like,
we do.
As you can see with yourself, the results speak for it. So I think it's kind of flipping your mindset to be like, okay, well, you know, I want to get into that. So where do I start? And then when I start, how hard is it going to be for me to keep in the back of my head, like where my goals are, and make sure that like I'm hitting it each step of the way to make sure I have what I define as like my ideal physique and my ideal end goal.
Yes.
Then I think the other thing is, and we learned this Tuesday night on our workout, is you have to learn how to not full send it.
Yes.
On workouts.
Yes.
You've been teaching me it's a very methodical process. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Correct. No,
So you have to take your time. I think that those two are the biggest hurdles for me. The second part right now is a little bit harder because I have the mindset of where I want to be from us working out 101. But now I'm just trying to scale my body down to where it's like, oh, don't like full send it on like the second WOD.
Yes.
Even though you have 1 or 2 more to do.
Yes.
Like, if you're gonna full send it, make sure it's throughout the length of the workout.
So what Mikey's talking about here, and one thing again that I don't think a CrossFit box, not all of them, but a majority of them do not do correctly, is get the right stimulus for their athletes. Like, you can take a certain programming platform or generic template and program stuff for people to do, but to actually get them to improve as athletes, as individuals, there's certain things you have to do correctly. And one thing that Mikey's learning and I'm learning as a coach is how to program correctly so your athlete gets enough of a workout that they're improving, but not such an intense workout that they are sore for days on end and they can't move, or they injure themselves, or they're overtraining per se. And again, what Mikey's referring to is there are 3 little mini workouts that we were doing. The first one, he moved pretty well through it. More of a warm-up-esque workout. Number 2, he all-out sprinted and had nothing left in the tank to do workout 3 for pretty much that whole workout, correct? Like, you were on and off.
Yeah.
And so what we wanted to train with our athletes, and when I refer to my athletes, it's my friends and family that come to work out at the gym, is that there's a certain volume you should be hitting. There's a certain goal or target for that day. So some days Mikey wants to train conditioning, or I will have him train on a conditioning piece. Other days it's purely strength or technique, mobility, and these certain modalities and components of fitness must be taken into account for each athlete based on their goals and where that coach or that athlete wants to go and progress. So that's something that we're still learning along the way, figuring out how to get the maximum, or not maximize, how to optimize each session so the athlete can continue to come in and week out and perform really well. So I think 21.2 was a good benchmark of that. How are you feeling? You sore?
I am.
I'm a little sore as well. I think we both sent it a little hard, which is not always a bad thing to do. I believe you should be able to send it every 7 to 10 days. I think there should be one workout, maybe even once a week, where you go really, really hard in comparison to your other days. So like what's hurting right now? A little lower back?
Oh, lower back and arms.
Little arms, yeah. So that's pretty much everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So don't feel like, oh man, I really did something wrong. Like most people, it is the lower back because you're doing 150 snatches and 75 burpee box jump overs if you go through the full workout. So you still did over 100 and some odd snatches. You still did, 60 burpees? 60 burpees over the box. Like it's pretty intense. Like you're gonna be sore. And for that duration, you went the full 20 minutes. Most people don't have a 20-minute workout in their tank. And the fact that you held on is pretty impressive. So let's talk into things that are not related to health and fitness. Not related to working out, but are related to health and fitness outside of the gym. Have you been changing up your sleeping patterns? What's been different for you? Have you felt like you've had to change your sleeping patterns since you started your health and fitness journey in the weight room?
Yeah, I definitely had. I think, especially on the days that we work out, it's important the night before, at least, bare minimum, to get a better, longer period of sleep. So instead of the 6 to 7 I get like 8 to 9. So
is that a sacrifice that you make? Like, do you cut something out, or you just like discipline yourself to get to bed earlier?
So I do a little bit of both. So I'm hardcore to discipline myself to get to bed on time. So I set like the sleep timer on my phone to be like, okay, count down to when it's time to go to bed.
Beautiful.
And then usually I know I watch like Netflix before bed. I'll cut that out. So if I'm watching like 2 episodes of something, I'll cut that down to 1. Lights out, ready to go.
Beautiful.
And then on the days we do work out, for me at least, it's not that hard to be like, as soon as I get home, shower, hit the pillow, go to bed.
You're pretty good. I'm
pretty good, yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, it's not a super drastic lifestyle change though, is it? It's just very minor things, correct?
Yep.
For sleep, I should say. And then preparation-wise, let's talk about like food, hydration. Have you noticed increase in your appetite?
I have.
Have you had to change a bunch of stuff in how you eat? Like, tell me how you used to eat and what's different now.
So I used to eat, I'd structure my meals throughout the day. So, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I wouldn't really focus on, getting like the right stuff in, like,
And what do you mean the right stuff?
The right stuff, like, I wouldn't focus on getting like, let's just say the right amount of protein or carbs or any other nutrients you would need. It would just be like, okay, like it's a Monday, like I'm just gonna eat like a bowl of cereal with some like buttered toast, or I'm gonna eat like peanut butter waffles. And then for lunch, you'd be like, okay, well, what do I have like left over from dinner last night? And eat that. And then same thing with dinner. It's like, all right, what do I want to eat today? Whereas now I take like a more methodical approach to it. And I kind of took a page out of your book, how you like meal prep. I do that for like a couple days out of the week. So like on a Monday, I'll meal prep Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Wednesday, I'll do Thursday, Friday. So I'd be like, okay, this is what I'm going to have for breakfast on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I make it like protein based. And then eat some carbs afterwards. And then same thing with lunch. I make sure like it's a protein-based lunch with some carbs, and the same thing for dinner. And then maybe in between, if it's a little small snack of something like a couple M&Ms, just to kind of get some flavor throughout the day. So.
I like it. And it's these little minor changes that I think, not in the immediate, you're gonna see tremendous amount of results. But do you feel like you have more energy throughout the day? Do you feel better about yourself?
I do.
In a sense? Maybe not always, but majority of the time.
Majority of the time,
Excellent. Yeah, because nobody's gonna feel 100% all the time, of course. Regardless of what you eat, how well you take care of your body, it just happens. Like you ebb and flow on the highs and lows of emotions. And one thing I want to talk about, which will be a separate topic in this podcast that I'll talk about later, is do you feel like growing up you were well educated on how to eat right, how to fuel yourself as an athlete and take care of your body?
I don't think I was, honestly.
I think that's a misconception with many athletes. And again, this will be another topic I'll go into deeper, but just on the surface, there's a lot of bad information out there. Certain things are demonized to the point where people are at a detriment to their health. They're not allowing themselves, like you said, eat enough protein. People aren't meal prepping like they should. Not saying everybody should meal prep, but I think for time efficiency, I'm very keen on how you use and manipulate time to your advantage. If you can meal prep meals and save time later in the week, so it's just automatic. Because humans, we want the path of least resistance, and having that option and that accessibility is gonna make you more likely to do it. Same thing with bad foods in the house. If the foods are there, you're more likely gonna eat them. If you don't buy them, you can't eat them. And that's part of the discipline aspect of it. But I really do believe that fats are demonized, carbs are demonized, proteins are demonized. It's literally every essential macronutrient. People want you to buy their products that sell BS stuff, and you're getting misinformation from fitness influencers that are trying to make a buck off people and stuff that you've probably subconsciously just seen on social media, on TV, from other people that you may have talked to, that just isn't correct. But you're sticking to the basics of eating what I would presume is just protein, carbs, and fats. Because you were like, well, you have to get carbs in too. You were just right. You were just trying to just pound protein, weren't you?
I was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, no, you need carbs too. Like that's essential. Like I think the keto fad, which keto can work for some people, but it's something that I don't think many individuals should be doing, which is not eating any carbs. It's just protein and fats.
I feel like that's bad for you.
In some instances, I think. But you can survive off that. So, it works for some people, but I don't think everybody in the general public should be doing it. But there's people who swear by it, and they almost have like this glorifying effect, as if it works for them, it should work for everybody else. And I understand like CrossFit may not work for everybody, but for some it may. Similarly, like talking and transitioning back into the weight room, CrossFit is a methodology for you that you enjoy, the community sense, and I think you're seeing great progress. But yeah, diet and everything you do in the gym go hand in hand. They both help one another, right? When you work out more, you're gonna wanna eat more. When you eat more and you eat well, it's gonna help your performance in the gym. And I think you're figuring that out as you go, correct?
Yeah.
Good.
I know you talk about, so kind of go back real quick. You were talking about how people, some people think, oh, if it works for me, it works for everybody else.
Yeah.
I know a perfect example of that. Like,
what?
I thoroughly enjoy going through your Instagram stories and seeing like what you eat every day.
Yeah.
And I know that works for you. It might not work for me.
It might not be. That's probably one, too much food, and the proportions aren't right.
Yeah.
Like my ratio of carbohydrates to fats, so the energy sources that run my body are gonna be way different than what you need. You might need more carbs and less fats. Or you might be opposite, where you need more fats and more carbs. For me, I'm about a 1-to-1 split in total calories. So not grams, but total calories. You might be really carb heavy. It just might be that way. Or maybe you are a little more keto style and you're more fat heavy. But that's something that everybody has to figure out. And it's a bunch of trial and error. And you have to figure it out through eating those foods and seeing what works, what doesn't work. Assessing it, maybe keeping a diary or a log, which I would highly recommend, whether on a computer or in a book, that I think would be very, very beneficial. Anything else you want to add to the people before we leave? Any little things that you, like tips, tricks, testimonial on what you think has been the most beneficial for you in the past, 3-4 months that we've been working out?
I just think repetition.
So just practicing the daily habits.
That's been key for me. I know, especially in this long, practice of learning how to do cleans properly. It's just been like getting it in when we can, and then like when I'm not here with you, even if like I don't have like the weight with me, just like in my mind going through the repetitions of how to bring it up, and then when it comes below my knees to bring it all the way up to my shoulders.
And then I think one thing too is the visualization. We talked about this yesterday, but it's visualizing the person or the athlete that you want to become. What kind of body do you want? I think it's a catch-22 because I'm very much in the social media world right now, up and coming. I don't want people to look like me. I want to inspire people to look like how they want to look. I don't like messages when people are like, bro, you have the perfect body I want. I'm like, no, that's not right. I need you to visualize what you want your body to look like based off of what your capabilities are, what your goals are in life. And if it is having a body similar to mine, perfect. But you should not want my body. You should want your body to look the way that you believe your body should look.
Yes.
I think that's a very important thing because if you can see that and visualize it, you can obtain it. And like you said, doing the work and practicing that stuff every day is going to be part of it, and it's a process. It might take you a year, it might take you 3 years, dude, it might take you 5. But if you stick to it and you're consistent and you're dedicated, you're going to get there eventually. The only difference is the more disciplined you are, the quicker you're going to get there. And you're going to learn along the way, and your discipline will get very fine-tuned to where you are like an arrow and you are just going straight towards your goal, and you'll see stuff start changing very rapidly. But at first, it may not seem like that.
Yeah.
So I think that gives a great insight to a lot of my listeners, young athletes, older athletes, as I think that we always can learn and pick up a couple things. I wanted to give you guys an insight on somebody that I've been working with, and I'm really excited to see how Mike advances. Again, we'll probably catch up in the next 6 months, do another take, see where you're at, and give you some updates. You'll probably be hitting snatches. I guarantee you're going to be able to do, in 6 months, clean sets of pull-ups, like legit up-down pull-ups.
Cannot wait for that.
So I'm really excited to tell the audience when they listen up and hear about Mike's progress. So thank you guys for joining in for another episode of Empty the Clip podcast. Mike Hartel, thank you for joining me, my dude.
Thanks for letting me
And we will
go.
catch you guys next time.
Peace.